Master Grade Rezel Type C General Reveal Defensor A and B units. Hey, what's up again everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs, 2Bs, gundam.tk, and you've already seen the parts that make up the body for this MS of the Rezel Type C General Reveal colors, but that massive amount of plastic is going to do a lot more than make up an MS. It's got a lot of weapons, so let's take a look at what makes this Defensor A and B unit tick. Regular armaments here, even though it's going to be shared beyond the Rezel, you can see that it's going to be pretty simple there with some lining opportunities if you want to go ahead and do it. But most of the interest is going to be coming from that white piping that it's got on there. And it's got a wiggly ammo pack back there, nothing too spectacular. And you do have a second one here if you did want to go ahead and swap them out, although it doesn't feel all that easy. And you've got this part here, which is going to bend up, and you've got an attachment point there. But with all the hubbub on the back, it's easy to forget about this regular shield here, that it's still going to have some pretty cool details in it. First of all, those extra recharge packs, you can see that they're going to attach in there quite nicely. You can slide those out pretty easily. You've got this part here, which is actually, if you take this whole thing out, you can see that this is going to be moving a little bit there on the inside, and where you attach it onto the forearm. If you take a look down at the bottom, as if this guy didn't have enough armaments, a blaster down there. But it's onto the color parts here, where you're just going to have that little bit of white on top of gray, which is done so well throughout this whole kit there, with some gray lining around there, and otherwise simple, but it should be pretty cool and hopefully look good in either mode. And if you take a look at the top of the forearm guard there, you can see that this is going to plug in with a pleasant sound there. You're going to have to be a little bit careful, but it looks like it's actually going to go around the shoulder there, so you shouldn't have any problems, especially with the ability to twist it out of the way. But if you do want to get it out of the way there, this is when you can open up this forearm part here and pop out the beam sabers, which they are going to be pretty simple here. They're the rounded pink type there. You can see that they'll fit in either hand with the peg attachment. Regular beam sabers, which are not going to compare at all to the hyper variety here, which you can bend down and actually pull it out so that he can hold it in hand. You'll see that it's going to have a peg holder there. But for an early height comparison, here it is next to high grade Universal Century New. Yes, those are very fitting for a double Zeta Gundam. It's not going to have anything that bends out or anything to actually hold it into the hand. Hopefully, that little indent there is going to be enough. For the backpack unit itself, you can see some great looking stuff down there with even more thrusters, as if this guy didn't have enough between the hips and everything else. Gray showing out from underneath the white, which is going to look nice and space planish over here. You're going to have these gray attachment points over here, and you can actually swap those off, and when you do that, you're going to have the nice touch here of having these parts, which you can add on, and they're going to look cool, thankfully, because they're going to have this nice yellow part there that goes on the inside, as long as you put them on the appropriate side. With the wingling part of the backpack over here looking pretty good, you can see where it's going to have its attachment point. These rockets here are going to move ever so slightly. This one up here seems like it's going to be mostly locked with a little bit of movement. Small one, not so much. But great little details here, the way that they use open spaces to create some cool looking color variations there with what's behind it. And then for the actual moving parts, you've got some solid grips here, as you're going to be able to bring these out, rotate them around wherever you want. This is where you can put on the A or the B units up there, and this part is going to be moving along with this one, which has the nice touch of actually having white plastic on there, not seals. This is all going to combine with the backpack part here, as this is just going to attach in, and you can see the way that it's going to be able to move. And then you take these parts and add them onto either side. For a backpack unit that I'd say by itself is looking fantastic, the only thing that's ugly is going to be these parts up here, but remember, they're just going to get even cooler with the swap ability. But in terms of just plain looks, moving parts and fins and thrusters everywhere, this is quite sharp. But B unit now, how about the hyper beam launchers here? Looking very cool. They're going to be a darker kind of plastic than what you'd see with things like the regular beam rifle over here, which is going to be made up in gray. This one's just going to come across as a much darker gray. It's great that they are going to add the white details down there. It's got an open part down there, and again, seals in that yellow plastic there from the B plate. Looking fantastic, but most importantly, in terms of actual playability, you'll see that it's going to have a little peg there, so you can open this up and actually put it in hand there. Either one there, as it's going to be on both sides. But when that's down, you saw that it locked into place here. And this part, though, it's not going to rotate. I wonder if that's going to be a problem. But lots of bending options there. And these will plug in to the side as long as they're bent down a little bit. as long as this thing isn't flopping around all over the place, and you can see that they're going to fit in quite nicely besides the wing assembly. With the Mega Particle Cannons being the second weapon here for the B unit there, it's going to be pretty cool to see that way everything goes together there. Nice gray on the insides, again the nice white details. And down there for the business end, what you can do is take this and you're just going to slide this in. It's going to fit in quite nicely and provide a snug fit. And then this is going to be able to rotate forward and blast people and do a good job of moving around in all directions. And ultimately, the completed Defensor B unit here is going to look fantastic with all the weapons on there, but lots of moving parts, lots of spinning and twisting parts, and some very cool looking firepower. As long as they come over the shoulder well, this B unit could be a hit. From the outside, I've got to wonder, I think I like the A unit a little bit better just because of its square, blocky MLRS kind of look here to it. But in terms of actual construction, good gray there on the inside. Very plain on the outside with just a very simple edging opportunity over there. But when you open it all up here, you'll see 6 micro missiles up there on the top and 10 down there. And remember that you're going to have this on all sides and ×2. With the Hyper Beam Saber having 6 on top and 10 over here on its own, which means on either side of the Gundam, you are just going to have a massive Macross-worthy missile massacre ready to launch off. And don't forget that you can always pull out these when you need even more firepower. When you're swapping from B to A, these parts here are going to fit on here quite nicely as they'll just slide down. It's going to look a little bit awkward there, but I think that sort of adds to the boxy appeal. A little less appealing though is that you're going to be popping off this cover over here. And when you do that, you've got these extra attachment parts that are going to have to be sitting around in a Ziploc or something like that. Plug those in. And that's when you'll take this part, and as you view it from the back, slide that down, and so you're going to have this kind of effect up here at the top. It's going to look even cooler when they're all deployed. But with this nose part here all locked into place from the back, I'm going to say that this, yes, boxy, but so cool. And though from the other side, though, it seems a little bit disappointing because here you're just going to have these plain missile pod containers. You're not really going to see it. You'd think it would look a little bit more fun the other way, as you got to see even more shooting forward. Nonetheless, you always have the ability to spin these forward here to go over the shoulders and to be grasped in the hand. This A unit definitely looking like fun. With the extra plastic here being in the form of a pilot, here you've got a mobile suit stand that's going to be custom and attach on to an action-based one, and for the actual transformation you'll use this one to get it properly held up in the air. With the kickstand here ready to stop this bicycle from going toppling backwards, because with that, yeah, you can understand why. Tons of fun to be had with the weapons there, as the regular Rezel stuff, well, the beam rifle and the shield almost completely get lost compared to the fun that's going to be provided with both the Defensor A and B units. Can't wait to see these on the back and can't wait to see the weapons deployed, whether it's the big guns over the shoulders or that missile massacre being launched off or even the cannons. It all seems like fun, so stick around to see the MS all put together before the transformation. And as always, let me know what you think with a comment down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya. Rezel Type C, Defensor A, B, and G units.